Alright, everybody. Okay, I am recording this. Now, as you can see, you look down at the clock on my you look at the clock on my PC, and it's 8:30 at night. So classes are done. It's still Thursday, and a good chunk of you are all panicking at the amount of work that needs to be done by Tuesday. So I'm going to show you that these things can be done. We can get these things accomplished. So please don't anybody panic and go into a complete tizzy. So as you can see, I have sheet 201 open and come into my model space. Now we've just completed, or at least for the purposes of making the video, I've just completed creating all of our existing conditions. And most of you in class, I talked about how a section was similar to using there's a tool, I don't remember the name of the tool in SketchUp, where you can apply a section plane or some sort of plane to an object, and you can cut away the view, and that's what we're doing here. But what we can do in AutoCAD that we can't do in SketchUp is I can put a jog in this section. So what I'm going to do is this imaginary line is what I'm using to create my existing view. So this imaginary line is cutting through the window, and it's cutting through the existing sliding doors over here. Well, I want to modify that line a little bit, just so for purposes of the section that I'm going to create, then it's going to look a little different. So I'm going to erase that line I just created, and I'm going to make my thick, heavy line my current layer, and I am going to cut through the door, and I'm going to jog my section line and then come through here to finish my section. So my section cut in this project is I'm going to be coming through the living area, and I'm going to see all this detail here at the end of my kitchen condition. I'm going to see the hallway, and I'm going to see the door opening for the master bedroom. And just as we all used the ray to extend down the lines for existing conditions, we're going to use the ray command to extend down lines that indicate where things are changing in the floor plan. So I'm going to change my active layer. It's going to be line weight. We'll just use line weight 1 for most of this, and then we can go back and change it. Excuse me. So I'm going to start with the ray at this corner right here. At the very least, what's happening at this corner is my wall is turning. Okay, that's what I want to show with this line. And then I have a break in my wall, so as I'm looking at elevation, if I'm actually standing there, I'm going to see that line. So I'm going to put a ray here. And if I go over here, there's an opening here for I've got it on the door layer. It's actually furnishings because it's supposed to be furniture. And I have some headers drawn that I don't think I'm going to need. So I'm going to put rays on both of those and extend those out. I'm going to make a quick little side detour here. Anytime you need to make a modification in your floor plan, like say you're working here, we're in our sheet 201, we're making an elevation, but I noticed something in my floor plan that I need to change. If I select my floor plan reference, I can come right up here and say open reference. I can also just, when I select it, I can right click and say open reference, open XREF, and it will open that file. So now I can come over here. Now I know this because I've changed other things in other drawings. That line for ceiling change is going to go away. This line of a door header is going to go away. I'm going to use my match properties. I need a new ceiling change line, and it's going to be that line right there. So that's going to be a line of ceiling change, but I need to highlight both of these objects and change them from the door layer to the furniture layer. I'm also going to open my layer command, and because I'm here in sheet 101, I don't need detailed line weights, and I don't need title block line weights in my floor plan drawing file. So I'm actually going to delete these layers from this drawing. Just cut down on the number of layers that are actually being used here. But again, there's a misspelling. Boy, I need to fix that. We will come back and we'll be putting in dimensions. We will be putting in room numbers. And we will be putting in some symbology. We'll be putting in text, and we will be putting in a drawing title. So these layers will be used, and they will be in a future assignment. So I want to keep those. So there we go. Those are the changes that I wanted to make to the drawing. I'm going to zoom back, come here to the floor plan, zoom extents, save my drawing, close my drawing. AutoCAD is telling me to reload the drawing, and you can see I've made that change there. Wait a minute, but it didn't change those. That's frustrating. Open XREF, let's do that again. No, because it's showing up correctly here. Oh, we have something funny going. Oh, I know what it is. It's because I made these into arrays. Okay. Edit the source. For those of you who did not use arrays, this is not going to be a problem. I need to highlight my existing objects. It's on a locked layer. Here we go. Let's see, save changes, see what that does. No. Okay, fine. It's an array. I'm going to explode that with X, and explode that with the X. Now I'm left with all my individual curves. Not nearly as fun. I don't need those lines anymore, but now I can highlight those things the way I want to. Actually highlight the things I want, and I can come here and I can put them on the furniture layer like they're supposed to be. Because these are curtains, they're not actually a door. It's not anything that any tradesman would have to come in as part of the furnishing package. There we go, made that change and corrected that. Floor plan, close it, save it, reload it. There they are, now they're doing what they need to do. Okay, now you'll notice that for this opening, I am not showing any type of door jamb, and that's perfectly fine. That's my design. That's what I want. I don't want a casing on the opening. So I need to come down here. Well, I know that this line and this line represent walls. These two lines represent an opening in the wall. I'm going to use my trim command. I know that these walls do not go beyond the slab. That's easy. But I need to figure out how tall they are. So what I'm going to do, if this is my existing exposed ceiling, this patch here is covering those lines up. And then that line dips down even further. So in order to figure out what size these things are and how deep my ceiling is, go to line weight 3. Even though I'm not, even though my section cut is not happening all the way back here, I'm going to use this as the point where my ceiling really does most of its changes. And I know that from here, this is just my own internal design choices, that from this plane, it's 6 inches further down to the floor to here, and then another 6 inches down from here. So I need a line that's 12 inches down, and it goes all the way across like this. So that's my ceiling line. And it happens to line up with the top of the window. So we have an opening here. Now the other side of this opening, I want that thing to go all the way to the ceiling, because if you look here, this is a line that denotes a change in the ceiling plane, and it's open to the structure above. So that's a part of my design, how I want my roof to happen. So that cased opening is just going to butt right into the top of this. So these lines go all the way up to that ceiling. That's fine. So I can take these and I can also trim those off. I'm going to clean up this corner. And that goes all the way to the ceiling there. And now I have another line, but this is happening a little further back. This is a line that drops 6 inches comes across here. And from this perspective, where we're actually looking, this fur down is going to cover up the line of that beam that runs against this wall. So I want to delete that line. And because once we get here, we're actually looking inside the structure of everything that's going on, I can actually trim this out like that. Okay. The wall of a restroom is always going to go all the way to the underside of the deck, so I'm going to show that like that. And it's actually that wall is going to go all the way back to there. This wall needs to go to the deck as well. We could make the inside of this opening all the way to the ceiling, or we can take this sheetrock all the way back here. I'm going to do it here. So this is one of those things where if you don't know about it, it's going to seem a little strange. Trim that out, trim that out. Oop, not that one. That one. And I'm going to trim that out. Okay, the reason is, as this line, which is this corner, as it turns the corner, all the walls around a restroom, if for no other reason than for sound, but certainly for maintaining ventilation, proper ventilation, those walls need to go to the underside of the structure above. Now this line here that I just drew and trimmed out is the back side of the plumbing wall. That wall needs to go up to the deck. This one doesn't. This one is actually going to, based on how everything is going, let's see. Yeah, all that's going to be closed off. All this is going to be closed off. So we're not going to see this because the back side of this partition goes all the way up to the underside of the slab. So all these lines go away. It would be easier to see if we do it in 3D, and maybe as an exercise, I'll show you what that looks like in 3D. That'll probably end up doing in Revit to do that, just to show you. Okay, and that being a case, that wall, and you see how my you saw how my drawing extension lines up. This is that point in the wall where there's a break in the angle of the wall. That wall is going to go all the way to deck, so we've got that. Okay. And then if we really wanted to get finicky on it, now I'm showing this. I am not going to require that you show this, but I'm showing this to be thorough. Offset a 1/2 inch, zoom in, and then offset 6 inches, and then make all these inside lines line weight 1, and then we're going to trim it kind of in a special way. So we're going to make the inside corner, that's going to make sense. But then we only want one of these outside, one of those trimmed. This line represents what the framing, what the, whether it's wood or whether it's metal stud, this is what's happening back behind this sheetrock. So these two lines are the metal framing. This is metal framing that's holding up the ceiling. These two lines are the sheetrock. These two lines are the sheetrock. The green line is the part of the sheetrock you can actually see and touch. Everything else is happening behind it, but it's really there. And we're going to trim that out and trim that out because that framing is going to go. That framing is going to go beyond that corner. And it's a simple little thing. It's a really simple thing, but it adds a lot of context to everything that you're drawing. To make this corner here seem a little more important, because this is just a little break in the wall. These are openings that are opening way beyond. I'm actually going to change this to line weight 2 and change that and that to line weight 2. Because this turns the corner, and it's a great, it's like 9 feet from this wall back to that wall. This is just a little, I mean, if you get right here at that point, there's no change in direction or anything. And then this wall, it's another 10 feet until we get to the back wall. Okay, I'm going to draw a door now to represent the door of the bathroom. I'm going to come over here, change the line weight 1. All residential doors are 6 feet 8 tall. So I'm going to start with a ray. And it doesn't matter if you pick the end point of that door, of the inside of the door jamb. It doesn't matter if you start on the hinge of the door here or the midpoint there. It doesn't matter. The whole point is you just line up on the inside edge of the door jamb and you go down. So pan down, come in here. I'm drawing a polyline, and the reason that I'm drawing a polyline is I can start at that intersection, come up, go 80 inches because that's 6 foot 8, come across, come back down. I'm done with these two lines. I'm going to delete them. I drew a polyline for one reason. So when I offset to show my door jamb, and my offset is 2 inches, I only have to offset one object, and it automatically has cleaned up all my corners. That's why I did a polyline for my door frame like this. I'm going to zoom back. Okay, the opening is on the left-hand side. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to draw a polyline, and I'm going to start at this corner like that. This is the indication of a door swing. I'm going to put this on the pattern layer because the pattern layer is even thinner line weight than line weight 1, and I'm going to change the line type to hidden 2. Now, this corner of the angle means that this is the edge of the door that the swing happens on. This edge of the door, where it's an open part of the angle, that's the part of the door that opens. Now, some of you wondered, how do you show a pocket door? Like, say the pocket door is open and it's going to slide into the wall on the left. Well, I'm going to draw a line, and let's just go like that. So there's my line. And on the pattern layer, and I'm not going to make this one hidden. I'm just going to draw in, and I'm just going to freehand in a little arrow. Use the mirror command. There. That's an indication for a pocket door. Okay? For those of you who have a set of bifold doors, okay, make a current, come back to here. A set of bifold doors it's basically a bunch of these all smashed together. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so a pair of bifold doors do that because this is a hinge. It opens this way. Even though this is a hinge, this part of the door actually swings back against this part of the door. It's a funny way of showing it. Trust me, that's how you show a set of bifold doors. So bifold, sliding, or a pocket door, and a regular door. For those of you who have a barn style door, that's definitely a different animal. I don't know very many of you who have that. You would show something more like, actually, and then you would need to show, let's see, yeah, let's take it there. Up to here, so we would have some sort of track system that's going to be twice as long as the door is. Ah, got it. Got it. Okay. There we go. Like that. So that these two lines are the opening in the wall. that is the door. That is the track for the door that the door slides in. So that's if you have a surface mounted type of barn door. So those are different door types that we're going to show. And there's not a lot else happening in my elevation. I'm not going to show furniture. We're not doing the type of elevations like for hospitality or a hotel design or anything like that, where the furniture is actually a part of what's going on, and it's a super tight coordination between electrical fixtures and things like that. This is an apartment. Apartments usually don't show furniture as a part of their documentation. So I'm going to come back over here. I know what's the other big thing. Oh, I need to do that. Okay. Back to line weight 2, we're going to show the millwork. We're showing the millwork on the end. We go there. I do another one here. Cut off. And then here. And then the countertop. There we go. Okay. Super, super basic. Now, offset 3 feet. 3 feet is the height of a countertop. I'm going to offset 18 inches, and that gets me the distance to the bottom of my upper cabinets. But my upper cabinets are only 12 inches deep. So, I'm going to trim this out. Those are my upper cabinets. Trim all, these are my cutting objects, and I'm going to cut all the way across here, like this. Cut across the bottom. I want all those gone. I have a bar top in my design. So this section here is my bar top. Right there, even though I don't have bar stools or anything up against it. So I'm going to offset that 12 inches. Okay, and trim that out. I'll come back, I'll do a little more cleanup here in just a second. Go ahead and extend that. I'm not completely done with any of this. Offset 1.5. That is the thickness of your standard countertop when you're working with wood. When you work with granite and some other things, those thicknesses vary. For right now, show it at 1.5 inches and we'll call it good. I'm going to take all the noses, all the edges of my countertop, and they are 3/4 of an inch past the edge of that cabinet thickness. So we'll extend those out and then clean the corners up like this. Okay, so this line is the front edge of my cabinet, and it is 2 feet away from the wall. This line is the top of my countertop, and it's 3 feet from the floor. This line is the front edge of my countertop, and it is 3/4 of an inch further from the wall than the face of the counter or the face of the cabinet. So that's how we get those. That's some of the super basic rules. We need a spot for our toe kick, and that's 4 inches up, and then 2 inches back. Let's clean these up. And this is just a super down and dirty way to show your countertops. To show your base cabinets on end. Now what I'm going to do up here is a little bit different. I'm going to offset. This is actually going to be a wall underneath this countertop, so I'm going to offset that 6 inches. But I still need to offset this edge 3/4 of an inch out. And then clean everything up. There we go. Super, super basic. There we go. So that's the elevation. That's all the information that I really need to see for the end of the countertop, and it's covered in this particular section view, so I don't need to provide a different elevation for it. Now what I'm going to do is I want to draw the bases all along here. So that is mostly going to be on layer number 1. And my base is going to be, I'm going to say it's 4 inches. And I'm going to click here at this intersection, and I'm going to click at that implied intersection. I'm going to come back and change this. I need to come across to here. Pick that up. You don't show a base going across the counter, but we do need to show a base against that edge of the wall. And we do need to show that base picking up here on that wall, turning the corner, and then running all the way along this back edge. So this base, that base, and this base, because they're set right up against the existing wall, which is further from us than this wall is, I'm going to change the line weight to pattern, because it's thinner line weight than what we have for this base, than line weight 1. I'm going to open up my Explorer window here, and I'm going to get to where I'm saving all my files. That's right, it's not there. I got to go here. Okay, Craig's blocks, elevations and sections, telephone and electrical. I want a duplex outlet. So I'm just going to drag and drop, put him in here. And it's a teeny tiny thing, let me tell you. But it might even be visible. Let's find out. I want to center it along that back wall. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll see it. Let's find out. No, I'm not going to see those. As you can see, they're going to be hiding back behind the opening there. And I don't have my electrical locations showing up here, but I'm going to show you how we can get those electrical locations to show up. Okay. So, let's see. I'll hold down Control, not Control, my modifier. This is it's either going to be the Windows key if you're on a PC. If you're on a Mac, whether you're using Boot Camp or you're using Parallels, you're going to use your Command key. There we go. Here's A102. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to take a little detour in regards to references. Then, you know what? Never mind. I'm just going to do it and we're going to call it a day. Come here, line weight 1. Make sure that I'm on my XREF layer. Back 102. Right click, drag and drop. Create an XREF. There's my furniture or my electrical plan. And I can move that from that column grid intersection right smack on top to that column grid intersection. So now I'm actually able to see all of my electrical switches. And one of the things that I just noticed that I don't have, I'm not seeing any electrical outlets anywhere in this corridor. That is not good. I'm not seeing them anywhere along these walls. That's not good. I'm missing a few. I want at least one. And I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to put that in here. So I'm going to select my reference, click Open Reference. Now, because I'm opening reference A102, a reference A101 is inside that reference. So Autodesk is asking me, or AutoCAD is asking me, which one of these do I want to actually work with? So I'll highlight 102 and click Open. We'll give it a second and it'll get caught up. There we go. Here's my electrical plan. Back into Model. Zoom in. I want one in there. Let's here. Definitely I'm going to need one in here. I can put it here. You know what? I'll put it there. It's a better spot for it. Okay, this one. Actually rotating this 180 degrees the wrong way. There we go. Now it's facing the right direction. You would not believe the fights that people can get into about which side of the symbol the circle goes on. Some people think that your electrical outlet is supposed to have the circle at the far end. Other people think that your electrical outlet is supposed to have the circle close to the wall. Believe it or not, people make a huge stink about this. I had a symbol made a while back where the circle was in the center of the symbol. So because I had people in the same office that were complaining about both sides of it, so I just said, "Look, fine, we're done. This is what it's going to be." And people were complaining and said, "Well, why is it that you get to set that?" And I said, "Because I'm the one making the symbols for everyone to use." So that's how that discussion came down. They didn't necessarily like it, but they understood it. Okay. I'm just adding a couple outlets in a few places where it seems to make sense. And yes, I know this one doesn't make sense, but when I move it to here, it makes a little more sense. Okay, that's the dishwasher. That's good. For those of you who may not remember, I don't think I actually showed this to you. When you highlight your outlet, you can change its line type, and you're going to need to change its line type for your dishwasher and for your disposal. That indicates that also for your range. Having it dashed like that indicates that it's happening below the counter, underneath the counter, that kind of a thing. Let's see. There's usually only one outlet in the bathroom, and it's usually right there, and so you can plug in your blow dryer or your electric razor or your beard trimmer, whatever. And I am not too crazy about that. Even though it doesn't line up, it's not symmetrical. No, you know what? Leave that one there. I'll draw a temporary line. And then I'm going to mirror this. There. But, as you can remember, that is actually underneath this high bar area, so I needed to make a change in the floor plan to show that properly. Highlight that, open my reference. Actually, I don't even know if I still have it in here. No, I don't. That's okay. I'll put it on the millwork later, even though it's not totally right. Okay. And both of these, they're going to look, whoa, I didn't want to fill it, match the properties of that. I just want to show that there is something happening that's underneath there. So. Okay. Close A101, save it, yes. My reflected ceiling plan has asked me to save that. Okay, so now we know that that is going against that existing chunk of wall. All right, that's a little better. I've got a few additional things, and now I can show electrical fixtures in my elevation like I'm wanting to. Okay. Done with that. Close 102. Excuse me. Okay. Reload now. It's saying reload modified XREF. Well, I've made changes to the electrical A102, and I've made changes to the floor plan A101. That's why it's saying modified references, because there's more than one of them. So click on that. So you can see I've added my electrical stuff, and there's that line I put in A102. So now I have some lines here that I can use to show my electrical outlets. Back on line right 1. I'm going to draw an array right there. Come over here, straight down. Okay, so here's my outlet. It's facing the wrong direction. We rotate that 90 degrees. And an outlet is usually 12 inches above the floor. Highlight, copy, from there to there. There we go. Happy. Now the only thing that I've got left to do to really kind of finalize what I've got going on here is you notice my section cut is no longer going through the window, it's going through the door. So I have some lines here, some extra things I need to get rid of. I'm going to erase those lines, and I'm going to erase this one fat line and that inside line. Lengthen that, stretch it down to there. I noticed this a minute ago, I need to fix that. Use my fillet command to clean up that corner. There we go. Now I'm going to come over here and copy that line, or this rectangle, because it's already a door. I actually copied the wrong side. It should be nice and snug like that. Again, incredibly simplistic. If we were going for a lot of detail, there'd be a lot more happening there. But this will do. This is a fantastic start on how to do the section. So basically now our section is done. I'm going to look at my section sheet here. This is great. Things are just looking great. I don't have a whole lot more information that I could show here unless I wanted to show the section looking the other direction. And I could do that pretty quickly. So, but the way I'm going to do it is going to be really, really strange. So I'm just going to highlight everything. And in my mirror command, I'm going to mirror it along the midpoint here and just flip it around. Do I want to delete anything? No. But see, this is where things get a little weird because I'm actually going to have to force myself to think upside down. If you want to do this, great. If you don't want to do it, don't worry about it. I'm doing this just to show you as an exercise. This line is still going to be here. That is going to remain exactly as it is. But all the lines here, all of this goes away. And for those, there are some of you that are watching here at this point and just thinking I'm crazy. There are some of you that are watching and are thinking I can do that too. You know, whichever direction that you want to go on this is completely okay. I'm going to leave that door just because it will help me in the creation of the other doors that I know I need to make. And I'm going to use my join command, J for join, so I can combine those two into one line. And I'm joining these two into one line. There we go. That'll do. Oop. And let's see what else I've got to draw first. Back on line weight 1. This time I'm going to draw the things on the bottom of the line, or on the bottom of my section cut, and I'm going to extend all my lines upwards. So I've got a wall there, a wall there, and a wall there that's actually part of the door. So I'll delete that one because it's going to be part of my door frame. Line of the door frame, come over here, line of the door frame. Door frame and door frame. Okay. So These two lines need to be line weight 2 because they are the lines outlining the washer closet and the AC closet, and those lines are going to go all the way to the top deck. So anything beyond it we're not going to see. So right here, that's perfect. But what I need to pick that line up back over here. So I'm going to copy this line over and just move the rest of that back. There we go. Trim that out. Trim that out. There we go. Okay. Now this is why I wanted to keep this part behind. Actually, the only thing I need is that. And that's only for match properties. Go ahead and delete it. Because it will be easier for me. And this is just something that This is something that I have picked up just over years of doing things. It's just for me personally. It's easier for me a lot of times to draw from scratch instead of editing what's already there. Okay, done with that. Delete those and trim that out. Okay, offset 2 inches. Always draw this is why I always draw my doors from the inside of the door frame and then draw them 6'8" tall. I'm always offsetting out. It's just sort of a way that I know how to draw things, and I've always drawn them the same way. So I know which direction to offset, which direction to copy and trim and all that. Draw a line. Don't think I need that. I'm pretty sure it goes over there just in case, because I don't remember where I stuck that electrical outlet. And because these are foreshortened, they're going to be a slightly different size, one set of doors compared to the other. That's why I'm drawing them in separately. So when I copy them, oh man, I've got double lines. There we go. So you can see they're just ever so slightly the wrong size. But that's okay, because I can zoom in and I can change them. There we go. And I think that break line actually happens right along that door, right along this door frame. So the break in the plane for the wall. Again, a subtle little thing. Few people are going to pick up on it, but I will. Where's that light fixture? Yeah, there it is, right there. That's where that light fixture is on that wall. And I've got another one here. Now, I actually have a block for a single block that shows 3 switches, so that's what I'm going to use, and I'm going to come back, I'm going to draw this millwork here. It's very hard doing this upside down. Okay, there's that one, move it there, there's that one, and I'm going to move it, whoa, there we go, delete that. There we go. And now that wall switch is going to go here. So bring up my telephone, telephone and electric, and that is switch 3 elevation. There we go. And a switch is 42 inches above the finished floor. There we go. And I'm rotating it 180 degrees because the plan is 180 degrees flipped around backwards. Or the section cut is. The plan isn't. I rotated it 180 degrees because I'm working upside down. Okay. And this is going to be pretty little simple little built-in bookcase. Just like that. Okay. There's my cutting line. I'm going to go, let's say, 24 inches up. I'm making multiple clicks, and you'll see the reason why here in just a second. I want a solid dark line to cover that up. All right, I'm going to move that line. Let me say 4 inches. Yeah, why not? And then a 4-inch toe kick. All right. Trim. Trim those out. Erase those. Okay, so far so good. Let's see. We'll split that in half. Think of this as going to be the sort of a built-in version of an entertainment center. This is going to be different. It's going to be a different type of millwork than what we have anywhere else. And this is where we get into the fancy world of millwork. Rectangle like that, offset 1.5. I'm going to erase that. Mirror here. Mirror, not move. There we go. Might actually want to make that smaller. And if you notice in plan view, this middle section actually sticks out a little bit further from the wall than the other section does. But what I don't want to do, I don't want a section in the middle that's 3 inches. So I'm going to move that 3/4 of an inch. Why? Because it's 1/2 of an inch and a half. There we go. Because I wanted to do that. There we go. That'll do. And now I need a quad outlet and a teledata outlet, and I'm going to have it set up here. So back to T&E, outlet, quad, drag and drop. Here, rotate it 180 because I'm working upside down. Back to T&E. And where are you? Double connection. There it is. There we go. So a lot of times you'll see these kind of jacks placed in everywhere for your TV satellite dish kind of thing. And a lot of the internet connections are also using this same type of cable. So a lot of internet connections look like this, at least for residential and apartment type use, unless you're wired for a LAN party or something like that. So there we go. There's my second elevation. Zoom extents, Z space, E space, like I told you in class. Now I'm going to come back to here. And the question is, how do I get my second elevation on this page? Well, that's actually easier than you think. I'm going to copy my viewport. Grab my view, move him up. There we go. Let's pull him off to the side, just like that. So now you can see I've got everything, even the upside down part. But if I rotate my viewport 180 degrees, then what was upside down is no longer upside down. Now I can pull him down like this. And then I'm going to move. Now this is kind of fun. You guys probably, I haven't told you about this one yet. I can move and snap to an object that's inside my viewport because I want my column grids to line up. There we go. And you see how this is starting to get cut off by the title block. That tells me that if I want these nice and pretty and centered, I need to move them. There we go. I'll just pull him back to there. And if the viewports overlap a little bit, it's not really a big deal. There we go. those are sections. They're cut in both directions. Let's do a quick print preview. Beautiful. Now when you zoom in, see how we've got some change and some depth that's happening here. We've got the big thick line, and then we've got a little bit of a thin difference here. We've got a difference that's happening here. This is a very, very easy way to provide a sense of depth as to what's going on in the actual drawing. So there we go. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to save. And you know what? I'm going to print that. This is going to be posted up along with all the stuff that's happened in class number 2. So I'm going to save this. 201 longitudinal section. Boom, just like that. All right. Sorry, this is my default viewer, my default PDF viewer at work. There we go. Beautiful. Click it, close it. All right. The next one, we're going to be doing the interior elevations. These are going to be done kind of the same. Well, mostly the same. We'll show you how to get there in just a second. So we'll see you in the next video.